Welcome to the final episode here on Let's Play Phoenix Wright. Trials and Tribulations. What we are now undergoing right now, excuse me, I had some tacos, is the final testimony of the trial. So with that in mind, let's finish this. The time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she was struck back as the enemy behind her. She wasn't dead though, and she struck at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Things break trite, even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Well, let's go. Hold it! Struck back. How do you know that? Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly. But I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood. You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. So then what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do. Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier? Yes, I think so. But hold it! They went out. Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all. Well, what could it mean? If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they were out, and when they went out right in the middle of the flight, maybe the mask was damaged, or maybe it was knocked off, or maybe the batteries ran out, right, or maybe those little pinhead-looking lights stopped working. What could have really happened then? Hold it! What do you mean, just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? So then that scream came from the killer. That's gotta be it. I think Dolly Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain. After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered a final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable objection, but I still kind of wonder. There's a contradiction. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade in the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with the sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Wright. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as a weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? Well, I say, take that! Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck in a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Objection!
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we've learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godo, it would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Wright. Order in the court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the result of a scientific test. Let me ask you something, Wright. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already a blood stain on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes, what does that prove? Well, if I were really the killer, I could have washed off the blade and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be! In any case, there's one thing I guarantee, Wright. That blood doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness. Continue with your testimony. Hold it! Wait a minute! What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya! This dagger, you said it wounded the killer. That's right. but if Mr. Godot had really been cut with a dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Shut up, Rick. Maya. Maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. That's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Ah! Order in the court. What the witness says is true. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well, then maybe the killer took his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Ah! Yes, your dick would shrivel up and your balls would fall off. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to face this. Right now. If Mia Fey were here. If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Wright. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you wanted. That's good. Fight until the bitter end, Wright. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Wright! So what I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was possible for him to have him such a wound. If he had been cut or a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Wright. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Can I quickly... No, I can't, huh? Take that! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the Laura she was. Isn't that right, Wright? What was that just now? Mia. It can't be. You're living on through him. Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Double objection! It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godo, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved! Shit a brick. Putin! Just now, I saw a spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago. You helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even have the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Godo. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive. Where's yourself? Was me. You, yourself. I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me. And no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you say Maya! Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason.
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what was left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into the situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong! You put your life on the line to save Maya! Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night in the darkness of the garden when I saw her silhouette. A part of me must have known the truth. That your Hayato from that one game I can't remember. That your Hayato. Look at you. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect my Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could have been simply a desire for revenge. And now I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. Rebuken! In that moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godo. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando! I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando,
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body of the crime is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize? To me? For what?
For the case 6 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 6 years later, I can hardly believe it. I can still shit on command.
She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh. We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 6 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 6 months, the woman that you thought was Dolly Hawthorne was actually my sister. Wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia.
I hope one day you can forgive me.
You mean...
That's right. I lied to you for 6 months.
Isn't that just like a woman? But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 6 months passed and I still couldn't get back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confirm with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Noticed what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life or mine.
Iris.
After spending half a year by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
"17. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?" Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Dunim. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty! Court is now adjourned! February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, a man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense lawyer could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia!
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick?
Maya?
I guess it's just like my sister said.
Your sister, Mia?
That night when I challenged Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. In my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face! Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya... How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Ah! Francisca, Sheila! Still assault as always, Phoenix Wright. Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one followed her. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been there on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Well, but where were you, Nick?
I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed, shivering from his fever with Iris' hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch! Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Miss Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
I don't suppose there's room for me in this group podcast there?
Oh, Larry!
What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of use to anyone, but not even once.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a places we're right. Huh? Yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh, yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that. It's lacking resemblance. Did you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? My beauty can't possibly be captured by mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So, then you'll do it like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture, but what's don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? And now that you mention that, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Polly!
Right? You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yeah? To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right, she lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now's exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too.
Ah! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Faye being strong for?
Pearl.
Take that! Pearl Faye.
The poor kid, after all the reasons that she worked so hard to follow through. The poor kid, after all the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions, was because she loved and believed in her mother Morgan. It's for the good of the Faye clan, I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again.
Oh, hey! So this is where you all were! Wow, looks like we've got quite a bunch of... Ah! But what was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My VIP just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win! Let's go out tonight, pal. There's or me. My salary just kind of short. I think you're going down the teensy wings bit. But it's alright! I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight.
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That VIP was your reward. Detective Gumshoe.
You said a first-class French restaurant?
You don't mean...
Caribbean. Where else?
I know it.
Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby. You're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes.
You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Hey, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh?
I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
That's all too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What was should I do?
Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will... We'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick?
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're God! We gotta go to that Phoenix tonight. Better go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't.
But where should we look? We could probably have gone.
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. February 10th, Hazakura Temple, main gate.
Hazakura Temple.
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
What's this? You're all back again so soon. Sister Bikini. I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearl is here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay! No, he's not here.
Ah! Maya! The hanging scroll!
Someone cleaned it off.
It's got to be pearls.
This is Maya! Pearly! What? Why did you just leave like that? Mythic Maya? I swear that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my father, Mythic Maya.
That's why you came here.
Is it easy I can do to pray for your happiness?
You don't have to do that, Pearly.
It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini! Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Pudding, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die. There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm until the day you die.
It's a magic talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. let's...
A photo? Mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting. This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. Let me say that again. This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training. I promise.
I know, and it won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for three for when you come back.
Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training a battle with hurts. Okay, Missy Maya, you want some lots of food today?
You know, there's one thing I don't get and probably don't want to, but...
What is it?
Reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
Huh?
I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally.
What?
That's a great idea after all, Missy Nick. You'd do anything for Missy Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I could just say one little thing.
Sure, of course you can. Oh, that's fun. Can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing. Objection! And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been, and this has been, Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. And so we're treated with the final parts of the game in which we have some end story about what happened to the characters. So the thing is, I'm not going to read all this. You guys know what is actually going on. So therefore, with that, yeah, this is the Tenkaichi of gaming, Pookie Izzy 7, and this was Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. And as always, as I have finished every known game and every Let's Play, I will say this. Tenkai! Muso! See you around, everybody.